I've been a fee-only financial advisor for over 20 years now. And the longer I do my work, the more I value focusing on big, important questions, working with my clients to really understand what's important to them, the types of questions that you can reflect on and might even change the tack of your life. You know, as I look at American society, things are just getting faster and faster, and we're all trying to do more and more. And you know, where is this taking us? Is it making our lives better? I personally suspect not. And so in today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 really important questions that I think will help you pause, reflect back on your life, and think about what's really important to you. In my industry, we kind of one of the godfathers of personal financial planning. He's in his 70s now. Is a gentleman by the name of George Kinder, Kinder, and he started really a movement of really focusing on the emotional side of things and connecting with clients and helping them not just figure out the numbers, not just helping them figure out how to reduce their taxes, which accounts to save, how to invest. Those are all enormously important things, but it's also important that, you know, our clients are putting their ladder up against the right wall, right? There's the adage, when people are climbing the corporate ladder, they get to the top and they look around and say, you know, I didn't realize I was putting my ladder on the wrong wall. And I don't want that to happen to you. So I'm going to borrow what I think are George's 3 best questions that he asks people to really think about. And I think you're going to see just by the nature of these are really thought-provoking. And really, I want you to, when this video is done, I want you to maybe bring out a piece of paper. I want you to take some time and actually think about this, because I think you'll find that time very valuable. Okay, so the first question George asked somebody, you know, and as a financial advisor, most of our clients tend to be older. They've spent their lives building up their net worth. So we tend to see people, you know, most of our clients that we see are in their 60s, but at the earliest, we tend to see people in their 40s. And full disclosure, I am a financial planning geek. I had my first financial plan done when I was 21 years old by a fee-only financial advisor in Memphis, Tennessee at the time. I'm quite sure he's no longer practicing, but his name is Bill Jenkins. Thank you, Bill, for helping me out when I was young. But you know, that's not the norm. The norm is somebody's further along in their career. So these questions are really designed for folks that are in their 40s, their 50s, or 60s, and really making sure that you're going to take full advantage of what I call the youth of your senior years. Let's jump in. The first question is, George likes to ask his clients, imagine that you have more than enough money to meet your needs. Notice I said needs, not where you can buy anything, just to meet your needs, right? There's needs, and then there's wants. So George's question is, all of your needs are taken care of. You don't have to worry about shelter. Maybe you're living in a nice house and you're eating good food, and your utilities are paid, and you have a dependable car to drive around. Let's assume all of our needs are taken care of. And his 2 questions related to this is, would you change your life? Would you change anything about your life if you didn't have to worry financially about having your needs met? So, you know, gives that some thought as I begin to talk about the next one. But how would you change your life? The next question is just related to that. You know, if you would change your life, you know, and the best answer, but few of us are going to find ourselves in this situation. The best answer is, you know what? I wouldn't change anything. That means you're on the right path. But if you're not on the right path, I want you to think about it now before you go 10 years down the road and say, you know, I wish I had played that last 10 years differently. So that's George's first question. Okay, the next question, we're going to completely change things around. So forget about question 1 here for a second. But the next question is, it's your current reality, whatever your job is, whatever your salary is, whatever your savings are, right? So it's your real life. And you go in for your physical checkup. And a couple weeks after your physical, the doctor calls you up and says, hey, I need you to come back to the office. There's something I need to chat with you about. And you tell the doctor, hey, just tell me now. And the doctor says, actually, I need you to come in. That's never a good sign. I've actually had that happen to me. So you go into the doctor's. Fortunately, what I'm about to say didn't happen to me, but the first part did, where he had to give the news to me in face-to-face. And so you go into the doctor's office and he says, I've got bad news for you. You've got 5 to 10 years to live. And then, that's it. You're going to pass away. Now, the good news is you're going to feel perfectly fine during that period of time. You don't even feel whatever this disease is, but you've got 5 to 10 years, right? How would you change your life, if at all? Would you do anything differently? If that was the case, would your next 10 years play out differently than what you're currently planning, right? And unfortunately, I hate to say this, but there's likely at least one 50-year-old or one 40-year-old or one 60-year-old watching this video right now that's going to happen to you, right? It's going to happen to one of us that 10 years from now, we're not going to be here. And one of the things I share in my videos is if you're 60 years old, unfortunately, we likely have at that age less than 1,000 weeks of healthy active time in front of us, right? So we want to spend them wisely. We want to squeeze all the juice that we can out of those 1,000 weeks that we have. So this question is very similar to that, right? How would you change your life? And I want you to think on that. I want you to reflect on that. And with all of these questions, I think it's helpful to write down the answer. And then if you're comfortable, I shouldn't say the answer, really it's your thoughts, your reflections. But then if you're comfortable, I want you to think about calling up a friend and saying, hey, I did this exercise. I'd love to share what I learned. Or if you're married with your spouse, or if you have a boyfriend, girlfriend with that person, just somebody who knows you well and that cares about you. Your fee only financial advisor. I've had many of these conversations really because I encourage them and I'm the one asking these questions. But these are all powerful questions, and I think reflecting on these questions can be helpful. Okay, third question, completely different scenario now. Unfortunately, well, not completely different. You're going to the doctor again, but this time the news is worse. This time the doctor says you have 24 hours left to live. And the thing I want you to think about is, as you look back on your life, what would you feel like you missed out on? Who would you say that you were not able to become? What were you as a person not able to become to be? And then the last part of that is, what do you feel that you failed to do? And it's going to be different for all of us, right? These are powerful questions. I'll give you, for instance, with me, up until I was 50, if I was in a car accident and I knew I was going to die, unfortunately, one of my regrets was when I was in my early 50s, I had not had a chance to see the world. And now I have, I have over the last decade. That was important to me, and I was able to get things done. So this is a good example. I looked at my 50s. I asked myself the same questions I asked my clients and said, what am I going to look back on if I got hit by a bus and regret? And for me, it was I didn't have a chance to travel the world. Now I have been able to. So if this video has been helpful, I know you're going to find this video helpful, where I talk about 7 things I want you to think about, stop doing in your 50s and 60s so you can enjoy the journey more. I'll see you in there.